never rests.
Counting careless in the sky. What a thrilling time to be alive.
It's Sunday night. That means the Georgia show is back on deck with you here on the DawgsHQ YouTube channel. We so appreciate you tuning in. And boy, has there ever been an easier time to be a Georgia fan. Probably not that I can think of.
Come on, man.
It is something. Listen, I'm going to go ahead and shout out our friends at Modelo.
Yes.
Listen, Modelo is making a lot of money in the Georgia market this year, and rightfully so. They are your go-to beer. Look, light, crisp, easy drinking. Modelo hits all the notes, and they are the official beer of the college football playoff. So get yourself a Modelo and settle in for the next Georgia game. Enjoy a couple on this bye week as well. You've earned them. I can promise you that, Georgia Nation. You have earned your Modelos to this point. Go Dogs, go Modelo. Rusty Mansell, Georgia grinds one out over Ole Miss. And I got to tell you, it's every week. It's every week at this point, Rusty. This iteration of Georgia football, 6-1. I mean, it's so impressive. So impressive.
Yeah, man.
And they are aging people. They are aging people like 3 packs of cigarettes a day, man.
So everybody's in these comments over here. Everybody's going to watch this week. And everybody that's a subscriber at DawgsHQ, you owe me a thank you. Because it was 35-26. I looked at Jake Rowe. I said, I'm out. I'm going to the field. And the minute I got to the field, everything changed. So I was like, I was in the press box. I said, Jake, I'm going to the field. I shut my laptop. Jake, no, I didn't tell Jake where I was going. So the game gets rolling, and Jake sends me a text. He goes, wherever the hell you are, stay. I said, well, I'm on the field, Dave. So it was wild, man. It was wild. Hammerhead, you got kicked off the board last night for a meltdown. I've done that once or twice. I've thrown myself off there. Don't worry about
hey,
that.
Man, that bourbon will do you in once in a while, brother. I promise you that.
Hey, nothing wrong with it, man. Nothing wrong with it. Listen, unbelievable effort, and you look at that game and you go, how did it happen? How did it get that way? There's so many questions. There's so many different ways to look at that game, but don't lose 2 facts all week. When you start thinking about Georgia Ole Miss, I want you just to remember 2 things. That Gunnar Stockton is playing his ass off. Gunnar Stockton is not a game manager anymore. Gunnar Stockton is a problem. Gunnar Stockton gives you headaches as a defensive coordinator. He makes you dread playing a dual threat quarterback. The guy hurts you with his legs. He's getting better in the pass game. He's not going to make a stupid decision. He's very patient. Mike Bobo couldn't go on. Mike Bobo, 34 freaking first downs in a SEC football game, 80 plays. I don't know the lightning in the bottle that Mike Bobo has against Ole Miss, but Jake, I think the last 2 games in Athens, Mike Bobo versus Pete Golden, Bobo's put up over 1,150 something yards offense. But the 34 first downs is unbelievable. And you can look at that 2 different ways. Not a lot of explosive plays. They're grinding it out and doing what they have to do to manufacture stuff. You know what I mean? The reverses.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable. 221 yards offense. Stacey Searles, offensive line. I mean, you can go on and on. Lawson Lucky. You can go on and on. And I'll say this. Jake probably got an opinion on defense, and we're going to talk about the defense.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, when they had to buckle it down to win that football game, they had to play their part in this game. They did in the fourth quarter. 0 points, ramped up the energy, got to figure it out, man. But what a crazy game, what a crazy environment. And, Roos, I sit here every week and go, is this the new way of college football? Is this the new way of the SEC? Because it seems like it's every week. And it's not just Georgia.
Yeah.
All these damn games are coming down to this close, man. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, like it's unbelievable. A quick aside, like we're at a point where Vandy now is a top 10 team, and it wasn't a surprise that they beat LSU. Like it was like that was expected.
They were favorite.
I know. I don't like. We are walking into some strange waters, my friend. But like you said, you know, Rusty, even going into that game, I thought it was startling. And I don't know if you saw this stat because you guys were in the box, but they had up the ABC stats up. The difference between Ole Miss at home versus Ole Miss away is outrageous. It is significant. I mean,
under lane.
Yeah, right. Under lane. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Yeah. They are really, really killing it at home. But there's something about traveling that really gets that team over, man. And I don't know what it is. You mentioned Gunnar Stockton, and like you said, man, this is not. We've left game manager territory behind. When you are 12, you're 12 for 12 in the second half, 3 touchdowns. You're perfect in an entire half of football. You're not just managing a game. You are taking over a game. And that is very clearly, I think, what Gunnar Stockton is doing right now. But I'll say this, Rusty, and I said this last week, and I want to keep hammering this point home. This team, in my opinion, has taken on the identity of Gunnar Stockton. He is tough. He is resilient. He doesn't flinch in the clutch. And listen, I'm not saying it's always pretty to watch, and neither is Gunnar. There's some missed guys out there, right? I mean, he's missing some wide open cats at times. But at the end of the day, they do what needs to be done to get the W. And it's crazy. And you wonder if it will catch up to them at some point. Obviously, the Alabama, that happened. But 6-1, you're sitting here, number 5 in the nation now. What more do you want? I don't know.
Well, hell, they almost came back and beat Alabama. You know what
right?
I mean? I love my comment there from my guy, David Broom. He goes, I can't tell you how many times I turned off the TV, pissed off, cussed, walked away, then pulled out the phone and checked the updates. I mean,
and that's what it is. I'm hearing that. I'm hearing that every week. I heard that. I heard that against Tennessee. I heard that. I mean, like everybody is saying, I gave up. I turned the TV off. And then I flipped it around, and then sure enough, there it was again. I mean, the Auburn game is the same way, man. I mean, it was
a long-time season ticket holder, one of my really good friends, and I would never call him out. He turned the Auburn game off and went to bed.
Yeah,
he missed it. I was done. I was done. My heart was raised too much. So, look, guys, you got to hang in there with this team, and man, it's just. I said it last week, and you and I both have covered Georgia for a long time. I've been watching games for a long time. This bunch here. This is wild, man. And they are a fun bunch, man. They are fun. I'm down last night after the game, and
fun is the way you're describing what we're having to deal with.
They are fun.
They win.
they are a fun bunch. I can tell they're having fun. You know what I mean? Like after the game, they're cutting up, and here's. Maybe it means nothing, maybe it don't. But the last 3 or 4 years when I'm in there, and they've been great, and they've won national championships. When players leave the building, they're walking one at a time, and they have to walk all the way back across the field. They walk under the stadium, and they walk up the hill to get on buses or get transportation back to football facility. I pointed this out last night to someone at Fox 5. I said, I want you to watch how many groups of players, how many groups of 5, how many groups of 6, how many groups of 7. You know, C.J. Allen, Lawson Lucky, all these guys, Drew Bobo, Monroe Freeland, all these guys leaving together. And little things like that, I know how a locker room works. And listen, I'm not sitting here saying they're going to go win a national championship because they're tight. But it does mean something when you trust somebody. I think that's a great point, man. You know, you saw the reaction to when Gunnar Stockton came into the game last year in Texas, and you saw the comment from Lawson Lucky. You believe in yourself like we believe in you. Let's roll. And how excited everybody was, and kind of got put in an unfair situation. He played a hell of a Notre Dame team, and he didn't really have the experience. Here's what I'll tell you too, man, about the word confidence. You can't coach confidence, and you damn sure can't buy confidence, but you can earn confidence. And as a quarterback, what Gunnar Stockton has put in his sample size, what he did in Knoxville, what he did at Auburn, you know, even the second half of Alabama playing well. But what he did yesterday, when he's a guy that can be the pivotal point in a game and really hurt you, I'm telling you, he's had that package. I didn't know if he could do it. I knew he had everything in. I knew his arm. Bruce, everybody was down his arm. Like, that kid's got a freaking great arm.
Yeah.
And he's so thick lower body. Everybody thinks he's 5'10". The dude's 6'1". Yeah, I'm standing beside him. He's got great size. He's a great kid. He has to do it on Saturdays. Well, guess what? The kid's doing it now. And, man, you hear Kirby last night in his press conference say, if we do that, we can be dangerous. And when Kirby gave a compliment about a couple of plays he made last night, Gunnar Stockton, man, he's the real deal, man. And I tell you that there's a lot left in him and how this team can get there. Do want to open up. I do, because I'm getting a lot of questions here about Kobe Young, and I don't. It doesn't sound good to me. And I told somebody today, Roos, it sucks that they come out and run a trick play. They get an explosive.
Yeah.
And the kid gets hurt on explosive play, gets tackled from behind. I mean, he gets pinned up, and it sucks, man, because he's a great kid. And, man, he was out there, and he had a cast on already.
A guy who, Rusty, I said it last night. After everything that guy went through, I mean, fought and fought and fought. And, like, look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that maybe some of those problems were his own doing. Maybe there were some things, but clearly it meant a lot for Colby Young to get back and play with this team.
Yes.
And to see him go out like that, especially given how his season was going. And you want to talk about another guy who had exuded that toughness and that, I mean, just FPE, right? That's been kind of the mantra all year. Colby Young was making the most of every snap he had on the field. He was fighting for yards. He was making big plays. Even that last one, man. I mean, it was a great play for him, and you hate to see it. I think everybody wishes nothing but the best for him. We have had the question too, and I'll ask you this: do you think that he's a candidate for a medical?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know.
I don't know what that even means anymore.
Just about in my experience with somebody, he's ready to go to the NFL. You know what I mean? He's ready.
Right.
If you're going to go through this and rehab this and injury wise, he's probably 22 years old, and it's time to go play in a grown man league, and it's just been my experience with stuff like that. I got a question today about Talon Taylor, because he could, is he going to get back? I think at some point he has a good shot of getting back. Now, what type of form he be in, all that kind of thing. But Talon Taylor was this close to being kind of that next guy up in that rotation until he got hurt. So we'll see where he is. And, somebody told me, and this was like 2 days after he got hurt in surgery, that like Georgia Tech was best case. Okay. If you say, okay, he doesn't reach that, but he's ready to go in December, you get Talon Taylor back. And listen, Ohio State had to play 4 games last year. Georgia could have 4 games past December 1st, if things were to go that way. So there's time left to play. There's a lot left. Guys are stepping up. Noah Thomas will get opportunity. I thought Dylan Bell might be the guy.
Unbelievable turn of events for Dylan Bell. That way, I felt like through the first 3 games, it was like they'd almost moved on. I mean, it felt like it had really changed. And suddenly, Dylan Bell is back in the rotation, doing the things that you had always wanted him to do. Doing all these, he's got the trickery, but then he goes out and makes the great grab as well. I mean, playing again, another tough guy, Rusty.
Yeah, tough kid, and listen, it's contagious. Winning's contagious. Being able to never panic. I stole the line last week, and I'll say it again from J.D. Piquet. He said Georgia's never uncomfortable, man. They're never uncomfortable unless it's Kirby on that microphone. He'll get some uncomfortable, but in a game setting, Kirby said last night, this is a culture win. If you're not mentally and physically tough, you're not going to win that football game. And Georgia pushed through. And I talked to a lot of people today, I would say, in the college football world, and coaching matters more than ever, guys. Coaching matters more than ever. And, Is Georgia perfect? No. They got things to work on? No. Yes, absolutely they do. But I'm telling you, the little adjustments they make and some of the things they do and putting their kids in situations, it's pretty damn good right now with Georgia, man.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think and I think really we would be remiss if we did not talk about the dichotomy of what happened on Carson Beck's evening against Louisville versus what you saw. And I mean, I'm not out here to call Carson Beck to the carpet, right? I mean, like but those two things are in stark contrast, especially given some of the comments we heard all year to this point of, if this team had Carson Beck, if this team had, well, listen, you had Gunnar Stockton, and he put you in a pretty damn good position to win that game, and was able to pull it out.
My whole deal there is, Carson Beck won a lot of games at Georgia. He won a lot of damn games at Georgia. And when you heard his comments about playing at Georgia, about playing for Kirby, playing for Bobo, playing for Monken, and how they got him to this point. And, to me, that was the end of it. You know what I mean? Whatever he does there is what he does. And,
sure.
But I do know a lot behind the scenes with Gunnar. And there were people tampering. There were people tampering with Gunnar, trying to get him to go in the portal.
Sure.
And then when Kirby is recruiting another quarterback to come in through the portal, there were teams saying, look, you're not going to be the guy. They're not going to. He stuck the course and he said, you know what? I've been here to try to get to be the quarterback at University of Georgia. So when I tell you, you root for Gunnar Stockton for all the damn right reasons, he is everything. He is everything that is right with college football. And, he listens, he's perfect. No, he's still growing. But I'm telling you, man, the last couple of weeks, he's taking some steps. And all those quarterbacks that Georgia's had to deal with and all the dual threats, it gives you issues and all that. When the guy can break contain and move the chains, it's a damn nightmare because you have to account for him on every play. But it is what it is right now. I think Georgia finished that game off. We got to talk about the defense. We
will, and we're going to. That's going to be that's next up. I will say this. I appreciate Al Chandler saying this. A good comment here, and I really think that is something that I hope is not lost on people this year. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't think that what he's saying here. For those listening, we're getting better every week. I don't think that was happening last year. I don't think that you did not see progression. But this year, everybody seems to be taking steps forward. And I'll give you another one before we move over to the defense, Rusty. I thought Nate Frazier came out and really looked like a guy who was able to put in the rear view what had happened in the past. Georgia clearly leaned on him like they needed to, given, I think Chauncey Bowen's still coming back from something, right? And was not limited necessarily, but he didn't play as many snaps as you might expect. Georgia moving forward, what a 1-2 punch for those guys if Nate Frazier's able to keep this form.
Yeah, and Chauncey's dealing with a calf, and it takes a little bit of time. This bye week's huge for him. Yeah, you got to know now. Chauncey Bowens was committed to Florida, and he flips to Georgia, so this is going to be a little extra juice on him. But it's I agree. I think Georgia each week. Last week, you just kind of seemed they were just. Last year, it seemed like they were just hanging on by a thread, and then they got shredded by Ole Miss. You know what I mean? And then you have a Texas game where you play really well, and then you have a UMass game where you look like what? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on here? And just it was kind of like this, man. But definitely, you see this team taking strides and getting better. A lot of young kids, man. Damn, they're playing a lot of young players.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, the Whataburger touchdown tour. Get over and check it out. A little bit of a lull here, all right? So, but be planning for the next stop. They will be at Texas A&M University when they host South Carolina. I don't know how many Georgia fans going to make it out there to College Station, but if you're listening and you're in the College Station area, swing out there, get yourself some Whataburger. I'm sure I don't need to tell people in Texas to go to Whataburger also. That is sort of the mecca of them. So go out there, check it out, man. A great time. They had a great time in Athens. It was wonderful to get the food truck out there, and know people appreciated them. Look, hot, ready, all the time, breakfast all day. You don't need anything more than that. Whataburger. A fantastic option when you're looking for some good grub. And then also want to flip over a fantastic option if you're looking to switch some things up. MyPerfectFranchise.net. Andy Ludicky and the team over there, they do a fantastic job of setting people up when it comes to changing up your life and your career. There are a number of different franchises out there available. People have the option to go well beyond fast food. All right. It's not just McDonald's, not Burger King. There are a number of different businesses that function in the franchise space. They help find the one that makes sense for you and your business and your life. So get with Andy Ludicky and the team at MyPerfectFranchise.net. They are here to help you, and their services are free to you because the franchisees pay the franchise holders, pay that. And they're trying to bring some new people in. Rusty, we would be remiss if we did not talk about this Georgia defense, though, because to be fair, nobody played defense yesterday. This was one of those that it was, and I said it on the thread. I said they're going to have to score 45 to win. They didn't have to go all the way there. They were 2 points shy of that, but it was this thing was back and forth punches on the offense, and there was just not a lot of defense happening. And I think at this point, for what we can say about how the offense has improved week to week, right? The defense, for whatever reason, seems to have what the offense had last year. The slow starts continue for this defensive unit. And I'm curious, looking at this one, what stands out to you about it?
Just couldn't get off the field at all. They were not winning second down. I mean, I didn't care, Jake, if it was 2nd and 15, 2nd and 7. I looked at Rowe one point. I said, dude, they've been in 3rd and 2 all night. And when you're 3rd and less than 4, Lane's running 2 plays. He don't care where it is. They're going for it. So I'm sitting there thinking, well, damn, they got to guard 2 more plays. There's no way you're not getting out. They couldn't get off the field. Missed tackles.
Soft cushions, man.
Something's going on there. And let me, we can talk about Glenn Schumann, okay? But he's the defensive coordinator. But also, Kirby Smart and everybody's involved with the defensive, input on this thing. I don't know why they're playing so much soft coverage.
Yes.
Trying to keep it. Georgia has always been under Kirby Smart, same way Alabama's been, like they press you. You're not going to throw a hitch route on Georgia. You're not. They're going to fight your ass off. Man, there was 2 or 3 times yesterday. I looked at Rowe and I said, that guy's 10 yards off of him. And and you see Lane over there giving that, and by God, they just throw a 10-yard hitch, and I'm like, that is way too easy. I don't know why they're doing that. I don't know if they're afraid to give up the deep ball and they're trying to keep everything in front of them of what it's doing. I mean, like Ole Miss, they had drives of 14, 13, 12. They didn't get a ton of explosive plays on you, but they got consistent plays on you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. I know they don't have that alpha pass rusher. We can quit bringing that up because they don't.
Yep.
You need that group to be solid. I will say this yesterday. They get a free blitz in the red zone, and Chris Cole missed him. Okay, that happens, but nobody goes back and says Glenn Schumann dialed it up perfect right there because they got to him. But there were a couple times in the 4th quarter where, just to be picky, man, they were straight up holding the 3rd down rush guy. Elo Mendoza got a hold. If you watch the last play when Josh Horton bats the ball, watch the left tackle. I don't know that I've ever seen a hold bigger in my life. He grabs Chris Cole by the waist and he just rides him into the ground with him. You know what I mean? So they've got to find ways there. Again, you go to the 4th quarter, you don't give up a single point in the 4th quarter. I know they're head scratching. These guys, they hadn't all of a sudden turned into a bad coach. You don't all of a sudden turn into a bad coach, okay? Something's not working, so they got to figure it out, and they got to figure it out in a hurry.
Yeah.
But the defense, man, they don't have the answers sometimes. And I will say that I felt like number 81. I like what I saw out of him yesterday. He plays hard, man. He's big. Joshua Horton transferred from Miami, and they've got to take these 2 weeks and really just dig in, see what they can do. I still say this: they're going to take their lumps with the young guys, DeMello Jones and Ellis Robinson and those guys, and they're learning on the fly. I'm telling you, that is Kirby adapting to college football, because he has chosen to take those two kids that he probably wouldn't have played 3 years ago, and he's threw them in the fire and said, "Look, I got to roll with them." And that's kind of the way that they are right now. But they're learning on the curve, learning on the go, and they got to put it together, man, somehow, some way defensively. They're not gonna be able to be the comeback kids every single week. Sooner or later, you
can't live and die that way.
You got to have stops, man. You got to have stops. Yep.
Yeah, it was interesting. I do the snap count every week over at DawgsHQ, and I was going through that, and I don't necessarily always look at the player grades, and I understand people if you don't like the PFF or whatever. I think of it as one data point among many, right? It's just a singular data point. But I will say, in the PFF grades for players who played more than, I think it was 10 snaps on defense, the highest graded player of the weekend on defense was DeMello Jones. And that kid seems like you want to talk about improvement every week. Ellis Robinson's another guy. I mean, it's not chunk, right? And it's not maybe even in the way that most people would want it. I mean, I think DeMello ended up as a top 75, top 50 player. Ellis was number 2 in the country overall. And sure, is it locked down at this moment? It's not. But those guys continue to progress. And that's what you would hope to see out of a guy with that level of talent, in my opinion. Rusty, I'm looking at this drive. I'm looking at the drive chart here, okay? And it's unbelievable. Ole Miss, all right, I'll go through this with you. Not that anybody needs to relive this. Ole Miss, first drive, first quarter. They 5 minutes, 18 seconds possession, 14 plays, 65 yards. Next possession, 10 plays, 65 yards, 4 minutes off the clock. Next possession, 11 plays, 75 yards. Next possession, 2 plays, 75 yards. Next possession, 12 plays, 75 yards. Then the fourth quarter begins. 3 plays, 0 yards. 3 plays, 1 yard. 5 plays, 12 yards. Listen, like you said, we have been covering this team a long time. I've been watching college football a long time. This is one of the weirdest things that I have ever watched in my years of watching this, because there's something that they figure out, and I don't know what it is, or if it's just the headspace or the scramble or the resilience. Whatever it is, it works to some degree. But I agree with you; you can't live and die by it every week.
Yeah, you can't. And I don't know if you guys, most people rewatch the games. Go watch Kirby after the fourth down ball they bat around, and he realizes then that they're going to win the game. And he takes his headset off, turned around guy. He just walks off and goes. You can just see him go, "What in the hell, man?" So I'm filming last night, and he comes by on the golf cart. So he's going to the press conference or whatever. I look at him, and he's going by. He goes. He just holds his hands up like, it's one of those, man, but, it is a huge win, man. I don't think they beat a top 5 team. Beat a top 5 team in Athens.
No question.
You put that in the bank, and it's good time.
The hottest in this wild coaching carousel, the hottest name in it, period.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody wants Lane Kiffin. And Penn State would hire Lane Kiffin tomorrow. If FSU gets rid of Mike Norvell, and it sounds like they very well could, they take Lane Kiffin in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
everybody wants this guy. This is the dude right now in the SEC. I mean, there's several SEC schools that would take Lane Kiffin tomorrow.
There's probably one in Gainesville that's going to make it right.
That's right. Yeah.
It's funny. He does this documentary talking about his daughter's crying about not leaving Oxford. We'll see. But that's another whole deal. And listen, we're not the Ole Miss people, but dude, they got to load up on a plane and go to Oklahoma this week, and that's going to be a huge game for both of those teams. Because if Ole Miss loses that game, boy, I don't know. I don't know if they've got enough. They don't play Alabama. They don't play Texas A&M. I don't think they've got enough they might be on the outside looking in with 2 losses. I mean, they need to win this one. That would be a huge game for them. So we'll see how that thing goes. But unbelievable, man. I mean, this team, there's no telling what's going to happen with them. But I tell you one thing, they will fight their ass off, and that locker room believes in each other. And Roos, I think you summed it up, man. It starts with that quarterback. It starts with him, and yeah, I mean, Kirby Steve was banged up, and some of the things that he's went through last week. He took some shots at Auburn. Now he took a shot, and he came back, and not only did he come back, he played the game of his life, man.
I'm not going to sit here and draw straight line parallels between Stetson Bennett and Gunnar Stockton. But what I'm going to tell you is that Georgia team under Gunnar Stockton had a swagger about it, or under Stetson Bennett had a swagger about it. This team under Gunnar Stockton, they got a swagger about them too. And they're like a prize fighter who just he's got to keep bread on the table. It's not about buying Rolexes. It's like, I got to feed my family. And so I'm willing to take all the punches you got. And at the end, lay you out, man.
Oh, man.
It is
something. I'll tell you this. I was downstairs press conference, and Kirby and Lane, look, all the jabbing and all the smack talk from Lane and how good he is on social, and Kirby's the exact opposite. You know what I mean? Like, he's so reserved. But those two, man, they probably spent 5-6 minutes, just them two together. Some cameras were down there, but, you know, a lot of respect, a lot of laughs. They'll tell him what Lane reaches over at one point and says something in Kirby's ear, and he laughs. You know what I mean? So, you know, a lot of respect out of those guys. They just operate 2 different ways, and you know, who knows how this season's going to go. I still left the stadium last night going, how in the hell did that game turn? Like, how did that game turn like that? But if you haven't seen it, man, and you know his story with his family, his little brother, Lawson Lucky catches that touchdown.
Yeah, that was super cool.
Oh my goodness, he runs over and points at his little brother. Man, holy smokes, that'll give you some eye sweat right there, man. That what a moment for him and his family. And Lawson was in a good mood when I saw him after the game, man. Leaving the field, 3 tutties. I'd have been in a good mood last night. I'd been afraid of what 20-year-old Rusty Mansell would have done with 3 touchdowns to beat Ole Miss. I can promise you that.
They would have had. They should have put you in the Clark County jail.
They should just have my room booked. You know what I mean?
That's right. Absolutely.
Reservations.
Guys, look. Speaking of your eyes, sunheist.com, the place to get, man. Go over, get yourself loaded up. This is like I keep telling people, and it's hard to believe Christmas is coming up on us quickly. Load up on your Sunheist sunglasses, a number of different styles to appeal to everybody you got out there, man. Tons of ways to customize them, different frames, different lenses. They throw the accessory bundle in. You can see there, $65 get you free shipping on standard shipping for $65. Free returns. Customer service is incredible. There's just a number of ways that Sunheist is doing it better than everybody else. Lifetime warranty on the frames, injected polarization. The list goes on and on. Plus, you can save 20% with our code DawgsHQ20, and that works every single time you use it over at sunheist.com. So go over, get yourself some nice shades, and get some for the people in your life as well. Rusty, it is hard to believe, but it is bye week again, and I can't believe we have made it back here. You mentioned that this is a big one for Chauncey Bowens specifically, but who else is this a big week for in your mind? Who else kind of benefits from Georgia's bye week other than Billy? Well, not Billy Napier. He doesn't have much to worry about for Georgia's bye week.
That's $1 million. If I'm Kirby, I'm inviting him up to practice Thursday.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're pretty damn close. Yeah. I'll say that typically with Georgia, they'll come back. It's funny. I text somebody today in the building, and it's off week. They've been through World War III for weeks.
Right.
And I said, you guys are off today, right? And the response was, hell no. This dude's got us in here all day long. So Kirby didn't let up, man. Right back to work. I would imagine they will spend, I would say, Monday and Tuesday always on the younger guys. always on the younger guys, and those types of things. I don't know. I guess you might have popped out there for a minute, Roos. They'll spend Monday and Tuesday on some younger guys and getting them ready. Then they'll transition, probably do Wednesday, Thursday stuff on they'll do Wednesday, Thursday stuff on Florida, and then they'll get ready to leave. They get to have a weekend off, get to go home with their families. And I was like, if you don't know this, I believe Kirby Smart, Robert Edwards, a lot of those guys are going into the Georgia High School Football Hall of Fame next Saturday night in Atlanta. That'll be a great event. I get to do that too. So congratulations to all those guys. I know several Georgia Bulldogs going in, but typically what they do with a bye week is they'll do Monday, Tuesday, a lot of work with the younger guys, get to see those quarterbacks. Ryan Puglisi will get a lot of work this week, some of those guys, but they'll work on stuff, but probably Wednesday, Thursday, they'll do Florida work, and then they'll come back Sunday afternoon. A lot of people think, you spend 2 weeks working on Florida. You really don't do it because you just overkill. You know what I mean? They'll get they'll get 2 extra practices on Florida, but they used to do when they faced Georgia Tech with that triple, Kirby would put in extra periods, but a week like this, Kirby would put in a whole day of Georgia Tech prep and getting ready for that. So they kind of know what to do. Coaches will be on the road Friday night, going to see players and going out and see guys. So bye weeks typically, getting back healthy, but they won't slack off as much as you think. They'll get after it. That's just the way Kirby's built. The guys that are injured and banged up, they'll get some extra rest, but everybody else, they'll go right back to work, man.
Speaking of those injuries, Rusty, we touched on it briefly, but in your mind, now that Colby Young's down, does that open the door for Noah Thomas? That's got to, I think, right?
I think based off what I saw yesterday, Dylan Bell slid out there and got more reps. And Dylan Bell caught that ball yesterday on that route, that typically probably would have been Colby Young. So, yes, I think Noah Thomas has every ounce of opportunity in the world. But, they played Dylan Bell in that position last year.
Yeah. Yep.
So, maybe Dylan Bell's the guy that becomes even more. I think the tight ends after yesterday are going to be more involved. And, when Brock Bowers was here, rightfully so, the wide receivers weren't getting a lot of touches. And Georgia was getting negative recruited for that, where they had a generational talent. They were using a generational talent. But with Colby Young and his group is kind of taking targets away from the tight ends.
Right.
He wasn't there yesterday. He got hurt, unfortunately. And it seemed like to me that the tight ends got those targets and got those things. So they got a really good group of guys there. And, they've got other guys. Somebody's going to step up, man. I hate it for Colby Young. I just hate that for him because, you go through all that stuff and rightfully so. He went through the process to be cleared to come back. So that's not our judgment. That's a process that he did. So you wish him the best. Hope it by small chance he can get back at some point this year. So we'll see. But I do think Talon Taylor's got a chance to be back. He will be back at some point. It's just where will Georgia be at that moment and how much time can he have left there to help them. But, man, I really would like for him to be there because I think number 11 about right now would be he's got some speed on him and give you a problem. I'll say this. We mentioned this on DawgsHQ about a month ago, and I'll be real interested to see if 84, Landon Roldan, the true freshman. Landon Roldan is one of the fastest players on the team, and he got kind of banged up early on. He's been getting reps in practice. And I'm talking about he's been getting real reps. I would be interested to see if Georgia coming out of a bye week inserts him in some way, fashion, or form because he can freaking roll now. And we'll see. We'll see what maybe tuck that one away a little bit.
I'm going to put you on the spot real quick. Florida moves on from Billy Napier. Who scares you the most in that job?
2 guys. Number 1, Marcus Freeman would scare me to death there.
Ooh, yeah, sure.
They hire Marcus Freeman. It would not be good on the SEC. Do I think he's going to go there? I don't. But to me, he would be the guy that would scare the out of me at him at Florida.
I imagine he's taking a long, hard look at what Brian Kelly's going through, though, in the SEC.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So he would be the one that would worry me, man. I think, Lane obviously would be, and I don't want to piss Ole Miss people off because Ole Miss has done a lot there. And I think Ole Miss had one of the best teams in the country last year, and they lost that game to Florida, and they shouldn't have lost. And the Kentucky game is what knocked them out. I think Lane in that state, he would be hard to deal with there. But with Lane, this is what I said: they're going to have to hit in the portal every year. They unbelievably hit last year. Ole Miss. They had some guys this year, but they're not as good. They're not near as good up front.
Yeah,
Walter Nolan, and all those guys aren't there, and that's hurting them. So if you're going to live and die by the portal, you have to hit every year, and it's an interesting philosophy. But I think if I'm Florida, Lane's going to tell me no. There's just no question. Yeah. Marcus Freeman had to tell me no first, and then Lane had to tell me no, and then we'll go from there. I don't think there's a lot of home runs out. Like there's no home runs out there. But if I'm a AD and I'm at Florida or somewhere, you're going to have to show me either you went to the playoffs and won or you've won in the SEC. There's no more taking a chance on, hey, he did good in division, whatever.
Right.
I got to know that you've won games on Saturday nights in the SEC, or I got to know, like Marcus Freeman, you're taking a team to the national championship game.
You know who's won some games on Saturday nights in the SEC? Dan Mullen. No, I'm kidding. I don't think we're trying to get that marriage restarted. No, it's going. Listen, this is going to be. It is already shaping up. I mean, that we're sitting here. We're not out of October, and the caliber of jobs that are open right now, man. This is going to be an absolutely insane cycle, and I can't wait to see how it plays itself out. Florida, to me, among the most interesting. Penn State's going to be unbelievable. Maybe Oklahoma State comes calling for Zach Robinson and the Falcons. I could see that. But there's just a number of possibilities out there, and it's going to be a weird one. Guys, look, it's bye week, but that doesn't mean it's bye week at DawgsHQ. Get over, hang with us all week. We'll be talking about where coaches are headed this weekend, what's going on with the team, how's the health, who's getting back, who's not, how they're prepping for it, the whole 9 yards.
Asa Wall committed tonight.
And, 2028, tight end. Now, look, I know people are going to sit here and say, 2028 commit, who cares? That's probably when you can go ahead and pencil that one in.
Well, his dad is former Georgia Bulldog, former Pittsburgh Steeler, JT Wall.
Right.
And JT called me Wednesday night and said, Rusty, we're committing Saturday. And I said, I get it. He's got offers, Alabama. He's got all of them. He's got all the offers. And I said, you're doing it early, huh? He goes, Rusty, he's been coming to Georgia games in diapers. I mean, this kid is going to Georgia. Why? He wanted to commit early, help be a guy to recruit in that class. And Todd Hartley loved him. Todd Hartley and Kirby Smart went to see him play. And so that's a big deal. And it's a younger kid, but I mean, that's a no-brainer. He's a take, and he'll be one to watch down the line. But big moment for them. They did it Saturday morning in the office, and I talked to him this afternoon, and I said, dang, that's a great day for the tight ends, but man, if you had lost that game, he goes, that's all I could think about. It's a perfect day. My son just committed to Georgia, and all these tight ends are catching the ball. It's exciting. We got to win this game. So it's a great day for him and his family. And man, those are the ones that you root for that. But that kid is a Georgia Bulldog and has been from day one. And it committed to Kirby Smart yesterday morning. It's a great moment for them.
Absolutely. Super cool. You love those stories, man, when a guy gets to live a dream like that. Super awesome to see. Get over, guys. Hang out with us all week. Like I said, on the boards, we're always talking dogs and everything in between. I can assure you that. But come hang out with us. We'll be back later this week. I think we got a DawgsHQ Plus on tap.
I'll be back Tuesday night, Dog Talk Live, and then we'll have a HQ Plus, and then we'll have another Georgia show this week.
There you go. Awesome. Fantastic. Well, stay tuned for it. If you're not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe on the YouTube channel. Give us a like, and stay tuned over there. But come over to DawgsHQ. Check us out, man. You guys have a great week, and we will see you very, very soon.